up, y'all? We're back. Um, I'm Jovan, aka Jovi. We got Brandon in the house. We're talking about accountability today, and let me be honest. As accountable off rip, my week's been scattered. I didn't even tell you that Tanner's in town.
What? Why is he not on then? Just like,
Because he's downstairs.
oh, okay, all right. You just,
Do I call him? Do it.
I
Nah,
don't know. Why not? All right.
because my phone's right here.
Yeah. All right. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, he's in town. The thing is, we've been planning this for months, and but we just started the show, and I'm like, I can't cancel the show. Like, it just started. That's a bad situation to be in. All right, y'all, we go take a quick hiatus. Like, it's
We'll
too
be right
soon.
back.
So
Fair enough.
I was like, you know what? Just let it rock. Not my best moment,
All right.
because that's the main reason I'm so tired and discombobulated. But we'll bring it back. All right.
All right.
Let's get into it. Tell me about your week. Tell me what's up. How you been?
Good. It's a busy week. I had an amazing experience, and it was kind of confusing. Because I had a buddy of mine that was like, "Hey, we have some kids that like we have like a school assembly.
Mm-hmm.
You wanna come do like a live Q&A thing with the kids?" And not gonna lie, sitting in front of a bunch of children, like with their phones and a QR code up on the screen, and telling them like, "Hey, anything goes. You ask,
Oh,
we got
okay.
it." All right, so I'm sitting there, and it's kind of like one of those moments where you're like, I kind of hope I know what I'm doing. I think I
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm doing, but I kind of hope I know what I'm doing. Um,
So
and
this.
I was hoping, like, it was one of those moments where,
Mhm.
like, I was expecting like some like pretty chill things, like, because
Oh,
we
okay.
told them like we're gonna try and tailor it towards mental health. Whatever you want to talk about, ask about, go for it. I was waiting for someone to be uh, like why do I fart first thing in the morning, or be, because there's middle schoolers and high schoolers in this assembly.
Well, you know,
So
you've had food processing in your stomach over the evening, and then gas
yeah,
accumulates with that methane gas in the large and small intestine, especially. And then by the time you wake up, the factories are moving,
yeah.
steam's going. You gotta
I
get it out.
if I had gotten a question like that, I think I would have gone super detailed and been like, "Well, that's a
Of
great question."
of
Like,
course. Let's
and
talk
just
about digestion.
yeah. But first question that rolls across the screen
Mhm.
is like, it's one where it hits me like right between my eyes, and it's like, what do you do with friends that have like lost a parent to suicide? And I was like, oh,
Oh, off rip.
what?
Oh, we ripping
Yeah,
band-aids off.
yeah. They were just like,
Goodness.
let's go. And I kept like so I had like, there was like this iPad sort of thing. And there's a moderator choosing which ones we kind of like dove into. So we didn't like go on that one first.
Okay.
But that was like it might have been even like third or fourth down the list, but it was the first one I looked over at the iPad, and I'm going, oh, this, we're
At least
going.
they gave you
Like,
time to think on it. You see that?
but yeah. Right. But having two people up there, like, do you see this? I'm like, yes. Do you? And it was good, but
Mhm.
there were no gentle questions. They were like raw and real. And so it was
Okay.
wild to be in a spot where they're like just want to talk about it, which is good. And then, made me think about, this and how many people want to talk and hear and sort of
Mhm.
share in their experience
Nah,
together and share.
that's fascinating how kids have kind of shifted because again, we suspect immaturity, like
Hmm.
for a free for all, essentially is what this
Hmm.
was. And they it sounds like it had some heavy hitting ones where, like you said, really just wanted to talk about it. Bless their
Hmm.
heart, goodness.
Yeah. I was impressed and a little shocked.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was it was uh it was farther away, so I had to drive like an hour and a half to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So the school assembly was at like 8:30 in the morning. So I've been up since like 4:30. Like, all right, let's see what you guys got. And then that's the first one. Like, come on, man, we got like
Snap into it. That was literally just me before rolling. I was gotta do
we
it.
can do it.
Oh
Yep.
no, I'm just I didn't plan according, but then also my excitement level was through the roof, so I couldn't sleep. So I was like, well,
Uh,
I guess I'm doing this. And then we had to
yep.
wake up super early to pick him up from the airport, which we thought we were picking him up at night, which was a complete swap in plans, literally the day before. I was just
Wait.
scrubbing the house because when I host, I go all in.
Yeah.
I'm a host. Like
Yeah.
I might as well be lifting your feet up and putting them on the couch or something. Like, nah, I got it. I don't worry about it. I got it. I got it for you. Let me grab your
Yeah.
ice water with the straw. Like, it's too much.
I
But
my wife like she like folds towels a special way, like when people are in our guest room, and she like gets like like gifts and things, and
oh
that's
no.
just that's not me. Like
Well, we start paying for stuff. Like I start
yeah,
getting breakfast and things like that. But like,
yeah. But she's like, "Hi, welcome to our home. This is and and I'm always like, "Why are we like they're a family? Like we've seen each other like vomit when we were kids. Why you got to get them a candle from Walmart? Like like I
I
don't
feel attacked. I feel attacked because that's exactly I've known this man for like 13 years, and it's just because we're in a new house. I think it's really because like the first time someone comes over, I go all out, and then it diminishes. And then for
okay.
him, it diminished like quickly. I'm like, all right, this is day two. You know where the kitchen's at. Fucking
Mhm.
make yourself some food if you want. I don't care. I just do whatever. My
Just
whole
do
thing
whatever.
just swapped over. No, you got it. You're
Yeah.
good.
I mean, it's a good quality
Mhm.
because like I like sees things and thinks about things that just don't cross my mind. So she'll be like, did you do you think like the room's clean enough? Have you vacuumed in there? And I'm like, why? And she'll go, well, because someone's like staying in there, so you want it to be nice. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I
Yes.
mean, it's better than a Super 8, which is awesome and it's free.
I have hotel like standards.
Whoa, which hotel? Because like I'm gonna be honest,
I'm
there's
talking
some
at
hotels.
least Marriott. I
Oh,
do all right the first, like I said, I treat my guests very well. Very
I
well.
want to I want to join your rewards program. Like,
Yo, man, we're going kayaking today. We're doing that with yeah, bro. That could have been you. Could have been you in sunny
this
SoCal.
is.
Could have been
Mm,
tough.
do you guys just go out like go out in the ocean?
We're going to the La Jolla Cove. So we're doing a
Oh,
guided
okay.
tour through there. Uh
Oh,
because Jill's birthday
man,
was last week.
that makes
But we were
man.
like, well, do we wait a week and have an extra, person tag along? But come to find out, he had an arm injury, so I've been picking on him. But hopefully he's safe later. Love hate,
That's one of
man.
those.
Love
That,
hate. That's the name of
that's
the
one of the,
game.
that's that's one of those ones when you're on the cove. You gotta be like, hey, I wouldn't mess around too much. I will push you out and be like, I dare you to swim back. Just
Yo, don't, watch the roast now. Watch the roast,
yep.
Gippy. Stop it.
don't you're in no condition to do this.
No, but I was super excited for him to come. So we're hanging out. This is the first person, like I said, coming to see me here in California. So
Sweet.
pretty excited. But like I said, didn't plan according, so my bad. And
Yeah,
let's get
no
back to
worries.
accountability. Because why do people hate accountability? Why do they fear accountability? And I wanted to ask you, get your take on that this week.
On why do I think people fear accountability?
Fear and or just don't like?
Hmm. Um, I so I was thinking about it all week. Like,
Mhm.
what is it about that? Um, and the thing that just kept coming back in my mind is I don't know that people fear or hate accountability, but I think they hate or fear what you have to do, like as a result of it.
Okay.
Like
Okay. Go
like
in.
it's like a two-sided coin almost in a way.
Mhm.
Like accountability also then results in responsibility to address or do something.
Mhm.
Or at least or at least then you're or at least then you're kind of in a spot where you if you are held accountable or someone brings something up, you're two paths in well, I suppose three paths in front of you, or you either do nothing
Mhm.
or you do something or you just um I don't know, acknowledge
Fight,
it and just
flight, or freeze.
something along those lines. But it's but I think that's what people hate is like now that you learn something, you got to do something about it. Like,
It
isn't
doesn't
that?
help that my motto is when you know better, you got to do better. I'm kind of the opposite.
Oh man, I don't know how many times I've been in situations where like I'll be reading something like like in like some sort of like text or research article, and I'll be like, wow, that's really amazing. And then this next thought is like, man, crap. Like now we gotta like that's gonna it's gonna be really unfortunate.
Mhm.
Like because now you got to do something about it. Otherwise, you're just gonna be. It might be like a parenting approach. It could be like a communication style with my wife. Like it could be health benefits. All sorts of things. Like accountability. I don't know that anyone really hates accountability. I think that it's the work that follows the
Okay.
accountability.
I think that's fair. I think that's fair to say. Um, I just look at the end point of it of for me, accountability has been the most freeing portion of it. Like, yes, it's work, but it's like, how do I feel after? I feel like the best person that I could be for the situation when
Mm-hmm.
I truly analyze myself and recognize, hey, I was wrong, or I approached the situation wrong. Even if I was right on the other side, I still could have done some things better, which now for the future I shift and use that model
Mm-hmm.
and try and hold conversations better, even if it's not perfect. Try and like catch it, like when I'm getting aggressive in tone or something, where I'm like, hold on, let me apologize
Mm-hmm.
about that. I feel that way, but that's not the way that I want to display that. So let's restart some.
Right.
Where it's freeing for me at the end, because again, I'm I want to be changing for the better, and it shows that I'm at least working in progress.
Mm-hmm. That I mean, how do you get to a spot where someone's comfortable with that? Like
It
what
sucked.
steps are there?
It fucking sucked. Not gonna lie. I hated the beginning portion until like a year or two ago, where I was like,
Okay.
because I it's not for anyone else but myself. It's the, can I account for my things, my abilities, my transgressions, all that, where I want to be able to. I want to be able
Mm-hmm.
to confront myself. If I'm being honest, it was when I knew I really wanted to be a parent, and I knew my anger issues were going to be a problem, my lack of communication was going to be a problem. It's I want to, because that would continue on from my family line, and I don't want that, and I really want to break that cycle. So I've been in preparation. It's really what it
Yeah.
is. So I had a goal. I think that's really the answer, is I had a goal for it.
Yeah. And the goal and like the preparation being like for the kids and making sure you're the best dad
I'll
you can
fail in
be
other
and
ways,
that.
man. I don't want it to be like emotionally though. I'll fail.
Yeah.
I'll fail in other ways, dude. Like screw that.
I'll be okay. I'll be okay if you're upset at me for, getting stuck in traffic and not making the, game on
Right.
time. I don't
But you know
want.
what? I'm gonna apologize after because I communicate
Yeah,
well. I
yeah,
did this for you, kid. No, I
yeah,
ultimately that was the start, but then recognizing everything has to start at self first before you can really tackle any other bit. And
yeah,
I was a dick. Fuck. I was
yeah,
an asshole in tone. I was dominating in conversations. I still am, but I'm working on it. I'm working on
yeah. It's. I think that's the other part of the equation too with accountability
it.
is like that. Like, are you okay being? Is someone okay being vulnerable enough to let those words kind of like the feedback either hit?
Hmm.
Are you sort of are you okay owning it? Just to go,
Yeah.
if someone comes up and is like, "Hey, you're kind of this way sometimes," are you okay just going, "Yeah, actually, I can see that, and I need to work on that."
Yeah.
That's not an easy experience.
That's no. Because a lot of people I feel a lot of people don't recognize. I only go off my own plight, so you'll hear me say in my experience or situation I've been in. Because I'm like, I don't want to speak for anyone, but I know it'll resonate with somebody. So let me fess up,
Yeah.
where I'm like, yeah, when being called out, because again, I got combative in that conversation where I'm like, what? No, how dare you? Mm, mm.
That's the best. That's the best part is when someone comes and like, so if they come to me and they're like, "Hey, you're kind of acting this way," and you're like, "No, I'm not," and you literally do the thing that they just said, "Hey, this might be an issue for you."
This is a
You kind of are
one-off.
like,
It's yeah, all right. One in your box. Cool, cool, cool. It sucks.
"Yep,
It's a sting. It really is. But can you get past it? You know?
yeah,
Uh, so I just all right. I mean, that's a good point because I wanted to have my view on that checked where maybe it's not so much like you said, fearing, but it what comes with it, you know, the
hmm
extra work. But I'm like, man, I feel better after. I don't know why. I feel better. It's
hmm
like have when I think about it, have I satisfied myself for the situation? And that happens in moments. Like sometimes I think I've gotten it down and I start going with my flow, and then it's like, hey, you're still kind of doing the thing. It's like, I thought I was doing better, but maybe not so much. So again, that self-reflection is always a continuing journey.
hmm
So I like the evolution.
yeah." It is, and this is my own thing. Like I don't know how many times, and being a therapist and like reading all these things and having a bunch of like knowledge in my head, it is still amazing to me the different things that I know that I've worked on that given the certain situations they can flare up and you just regress
Mm,
and you're like, oh, I, all right, I still like it's like almost like an accidental like factory reset, like the default
yeah,
settings
it's like
from
it's. I mean, it's still there. It's like a breach in the wall. It's like, I thought I put that up. All right, let me go repatch that.
yeah, yeah.
So, I had another question. Let me go. Let me grab it because, like I said, my mind's been scattered. So again, with Tanner being in town, I had a question for myself because I oftentimes find myself in a situation where I want to help again as much as possible, and I don't know how to stop. And I wanted to know how where to go. Guys, I'm not wearing my glasses. I take my glasses off for filming. Leave me alone, okay? I'm gonna have to show the blooper this week. Don't do that. Don't you do that.
I get you. I'm
I'm
gonna
gonna
get you
have
a
to show the
microscope.
blooper this week. Well, I take my glasses off because the glare and all that is too much. So I just look down. Screw it. Um, how have you gotten past moments where you want to help somebody, but one, either they don't want to change or you're overstepping your boundary or their boundary? How do you get past that as a helper of people?
A great question. I I don't know. Have you ever heard of the PVR triangle
I
at
don't
all?
believe so.
So I'm if all of my grad students, all the people that I've ever worked with, as far as like clinicians that were like supervisees, we always kind of talk about this. And it's a triangle, and it's basically triangulation where there's three
Just put up
different
a
roles.
diamond.
That's because like my knuckles like are there.
Oh,
Got you know the
the triangle. What's that down there? The triangle's a man, guys.
yep.
It's a man. Y'all will get it.
Yeah.
That was childish. My fault. You talk about something serious.
Like there's some of those where like you say them and you go, wow, that joke required like 12th grade reading level to really land. That one was like there's some 5-year-old like
Right.
you
You're
just made a
childish.
triangle. Yeah.
Oh.
But I so that triangle, there's three roles. There's the
Mhm.
persecutor, the victim, and the rescuer.
Okay.
And really, like the when you're in the rescuer role, sometimes it's a trap because it just means that we are over functioning or enabling some of the dynamic between like the persecutor and the victim, or we're blocking the victim's ability to sort of be empowered
Hmm.
to see what they're capable of. So, so for me, like I actually tend to look at it through a lens of kind of respect, like where I will respect their autonomy
Hmm.
and their boundaries. And I actually ask them like the question, like, what do you want me to do? So if I see this dynamic or this going on, how do you want me to respond? Like what role do you want me to play? Am
Does that
I
not give a sense of enabling though? If like, how do I word it? Because sometimes they don't know, and it could be again another Uno reverse where it's like, well, everyone's dick in this. So it's like, if how does one set that? Because again, you have to set your own boundary now on your
Mhm.
side, and understanding you can't pass that threshold as well. Or
Yeah.
is that really the answer? Is you everyone's got to be having their own boundary when it comes to the situation that I've enabled. I've enabled, and I want to
Right.
know how to get better at helping someone progress without again going too far, which
Mhm.
then is like you might as well pick them up and carry them over the finish line. But then that's not
Yeah.
learning anything.
Mm-mm. No, no, that's where it's like a that conversation. So that conversation will ask them like, how do you want me to respond, or like, what role do you want me to have? If they're like, I want you to always be there no matter what, um, I then typically will follow it up and go, what do you want that to look like? Because
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, like if you're like, I want you there 24/7, it's not gonna happen.
Mhm.
And I that might be my boundary where I define like that's not the role I have in your life, or
Okay.
that's not the role I want to have in your life. So that's where having the conversation and just saying I respect you enough to ask you what you want this to look like, and I also respect you enough to say this is what I'm I this is where my boundaries are.
Mm,
and just
okay.
also affirming that you, I mean, they're powerful people and they're
Right.
capable of a lot of different things.
That's
And
good. That's really
they're
good.
maybe not, yeah, well, they're maybe not like capable of doing it right now,
Hmm.
but they can get there where
Right.
they can sort of work on it and you're willing to work on it.
Hmm.
But, typically, um, typically, if we're looking at like a word picture of what my boundaries are for like people that I don't want to enable. Um, Typically, the word picture is like I'll help you lift any heavy object out there, but
Hmm.
I refuse to be the only one lifting. Like,
Cool.
like if you're in this thing and you're lifting, let's do it. We can do it. But I will never be the only one lifting because
Right.
then you're not learning, you're not growing, you're not, gaining your own strength.
My wife challenged me with because I hold that concept is shouldn't we all be trying to grow and move forward? And she's like, why do you think people should feel that way? I don't have a good answer outside of it's the way I feel. And that's not okay. Like I can't just
No.
force it on people, but I'm like, come on, guys, do better. We can do it. I don't wanna. Why not?
Yeah.
That's not helpful. That's not the answer I wanted from you.
Well, what did you want? All right, what was the question? Because you just said like
How now I'm lost it.
the
All right, so
why do
she
you
challenged me,
feel
why
that?
do I think that people should feel this way?
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. Do you agree that do you think people should progress forward? And if not, help me understand.
Do I feel like people should progress forward? That was the first question.
Well, why do hmm, yes, that's pretty much the first question. Someone will fix it. Just go with your gut on it. I think you know what I'm trying to say, but
Yeah, yeah. This is
man, it's watching me struggle.
no. There's just it's this. All right, it's deep. It's a deep metaphor. Go. All right,
Okay.
so it's kind of that's why it's kind of like I want to think about how to say it well and honor and respect like how the metaphor is going to come across.
Okay.
But I sometimes wonder, if people don't want to do better because they may not know that better exists. So, for example, like I had a friend one time who just he like he described it. He had a really good way of describing it. And this is the metaphor
Hmm.
that I want to make sure like honor what he said and like what he kind of talked about. And this was I asked him one time because he like I mean we've talked at different times like culture is much different like
Yeah.
so like Midwest Caucasian culture
Hmm.
they don't there's a variety of different way that presents and so one of the questions I had one time is he like he lived in just a really rundown apartment and but he always like had a new pair of J's on. Like he could rotate like 10, 10 different pairs. And I was
Hmm.
like, man, I like why do you spend your money on these? Which is a very uninformed, like culturally uninformed question to ask.
Yeah.
Like, why would you do such a thing? And
There's
he was like, why
curiosity
would
to it as well, though. There's a genuine curiosity to. I get where you're, kind of that hold up point, but I'm like understanding circumstance means a world of difference.
right?
Mm.
And I just sort of asked him. He was like, this is like part of my culture. This is kind of how my family and my friends how we spend money." And I was I was like, Well, man, that's like I mean that the amount of money you've put into those, I mean, dude, that's like a pretty big chunk of, what my mortgage is. And he was like, what do you mean a mortgage? And it was this like collision of different
Mm,
experiences where I was like, you see wealth, and for him, he saw wealth as like the acquiring of certain like shoes.
mm-hmm.
And I saw wealth as like acquiring a home. And so
I
it was
see.
like we didn't know each other's sort of like belief about wealth existed until all of a sudden we saw it and we were like, huh. So I would have never like thought um I would have never like known that that existed. And for
Right.
him, like we like he just had these he would we would talk about it, like just
Mm-hmm.
this idea of growing up in his experience and is with the just deep levels of like racism and poverty, where he was like, I don't even think that can happen
Right.
because it's
Okay.
just out of context. So this idea of like, why don't people want to do better? There's part of me that goes, what if they don't know better exists? Because like this is just our family that we've done this way
Mm-hmm.
for years. Like this is my grandpa was this way, my dad was this way. I've never known anything different. And so I can't have a desire for something that I don't know exists.
Right.
Like a similar sort of metaphor of um like I'm trying to think of it. Like I don't know if you have you ever had like a food that you didn't know existed till you were older and then you like really love it now, but you would have never had the desire unless you knew it existed.
Mm, I haven't had that experience.
Ah,
Um, I haven't had jackfruit yet. I want to.
what's jackfruit?
It's like this big old spiky thing. And you cut it
Hmm.
open, and it's got like different sections. Take the fruit and eat.
Ah, I might have to now see now I'm gonna have to go and hunt for it. But it like so,
Actually, I've seen some out here. Um,
sweet.
if you cook it, you can cook it certain ways. A lot of vegans use
Hmm.
it. I also want to try breadfruit, but I assume I'm gonna like these
See now I'm gonna have to
things.
write these down because I've never heard of these things.
Oh
But
yeah.
so
Uh,
like so for just as an example, like with the food thing,
yeah. Okay.
I went out to Philadelphia when I was like 15 on like family trip.
Hmm.
And I was, super Midwestern kid that was like, I'll only have chicken nuggets and burgers. And this dude, like this I get yes, I like it's not great. But this dude, he like comes over, um, this dude he's like he's out to dinner with us and he comes over and he goes, like, Jensen, you gonna let your kid order that? To my dad. My dad was like, oh, it's what he wants. And he's like, no. And he pulls the menu and he's like, I'm ordering for you. You're not coming out to Philly and having some like
Chicken
something from the
nuggies.
mid. Yeah, it's like there's no way you're having that. And he ordered this like incredible like baked zucchini and fried ravioli pasta dish,
Okay.
and it was mind blowing. And then it
Hmm.
was the worst experience though because it was incredible, and I was like, I've never tasted food this good. And they were like, that's called like spices, man. Like
Wonder
you can do
right.
that. Like you just
Oh, like
like
you ain't never
it's like
had seasoning, like
yeah. They were like they were like,
salt
this
and
is
pepper
that
is
you can
not
do that at
enough,
home.
guys. Salt and pepper is not enough. Oh,
No.
and black people, your spices do go old. Stop. Can we stop this? Your spices go old. Swap them out, please. I know you're not using all of them. Swap them out. You're missing out on good flavor, fresh flavor, and you stop. Okay. I've been holding this in for some
I like
time.
how that was the most random, like, and like a word
Wait a
from our
minute.
sponsors.
I've
Your
been waiting
spices
for a
go old.
moment.
Like,
Swap it out. Come on, son. It's too much. People think that you'll have the big old tub of garlic in the cabinet for 2, 3, 4 years, and you're not gonna change that. y'all getting me tight. Nah, you know.
Yeah. But like so the food thing, like
Oh yeah,
I
back
came
to
back,
our regularly scheduled message.
yeah, like I came back from Philly and I was like on this quest. I'm like, where do these restaurants exist? And it didn't. And I was like, then left. I come back and I have this desire for like amazing different foods with
Mhm.
different spices. In middle of Wisconsin's like, I can offer you a brat or some cheese
Mm.
curds.
No, no,
Um,
no, no,
and
no, no,
like that's
no, no,
so
no.
that idea of like, why don't people want why don't they have this desire to like be better? Sometimes I don't know if they know that better exists or that they can achieve it.
I can understand not achieving it. I see change in everything though.
Hmm.
Like shit from child to adult change.
Hmm.
Understanding that most of the shit you learn in school was a lie and you got to go and relearn everything that you thought you knew. Change. Bad practices need to be changed to good practices for good to come.
Hmm.
Change. So like I can't help but not. And so it's a wild concept to me, like even outside of cultural structures that people don't see change as an everlasting thing. It's like one of few things that's always going to happen within our life is change till the point of death, change. And even then after you get reabsorbed into the ground, change again. I've said it too much. I think I said
Yeah.
those too much. Okay.
Right. But at the same time, as consistent as change is, and like the whole saying of change is the only constant, change is always as constant as it is. It's always been a constant fear too. Like humans as a
Ooh,
whole,
okay.
like change has always been partnered with this sort of uncertainty around it.
It is a very much coupling effect. That's a very, very good point. You're smart
Yeah.
sometimes, bro. I
Well,
like you
like
sometimes.
again, some of the
Sometimes.
time, some of the time.
Oh man, that's
By the
all I
way,
got. I'm tired and I know you're tired. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. Let's see.
uh,
We'll be back next time. Shoot. I ain't got no good outro. So boom, gonna call it.
uh,
Peace out, man.